Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Arkham Knight Batman action figure. This is McFarlane's first action figure from Arkham Knight, and I'm a huge fan of the Arkham franchise. Those games are excellent, and this figure looks to be the best Arkham Knight Batman ever. DC Collectibles made Arkham Knight Batman a few years ago, and it was pretty nice. But this thing looks just amazing. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. You can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, got the Spawn logo, ages 12 plus. Here he is. Looks like he has 3 different Bat Gadget accessories, collector's stand and collector's card. DC Multiverse Batman. On one side, Batman Arkham Knight, got the Arkham Knight logo up there. Other side simply says Batman. On the bottom, there is a barcode in case it helps anybody, as well as a bunch of credits. And then on the back side, here is Batman from Arkham Knight, and then a bunch of other McFarlane Multiverse figures you should track down. So with no further ado, let's open him up and see if he's as good as he looks. And I did end up getting 2 of these Batman figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and one to keep in my complete, unopened 6 and 7 inch Batman action figure collection. Now I've been looking forward to this Arkham Knight Batman and Arkham Origins Deathstroke for quite some time. They look really good. I had them pre-ordered at Walmart.com. I had them pre-ordered at Amazon.com. But it was actually GameStop where I got my figures from. I ordered them last week at GameStop.com. They cost a little bit more than $19. They were $22.49, I believe. They had some kind of flash sale going on that I didn't even know about, and it took a few bucks off. So pretty pleased about that. And here's this figure, taking his rightful place in front of my Batman and related comics, with my other Batman and related unopened action figures. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, the remote electrical charge, the explosive gel, and a Batarang. But before we look at those accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So here he is, Batman from the Arkham Knight by McFarlane Toys. First of all, look at those really long ears. One's a little bit warped. I'm going to try to fix that with hot water. His mask has that sort of mechanical look to it. I remember as a helmet would sort of slide into place when putting it on. The neck looks very nice. Look at those lines in there. The sculpting is excellent. Shoulder pads, and they're made of a soft material, so they're not going to obstruct his articulation. Looks like nice texture on his shoulders. I mean, this thing can go up way more than 90 degrees. I never would have expected that. Very cool. Butterfly joint, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. The texture, the armor, the suit, it looks phenomenal. Really like what I'm seeing. The gauntlets, the belt, the huge pouches, I like it. His cape kind of flowing a little bit, going back. I do like the layers on it. It looks really good. Pretty much liking everything I'm seeing on this guy so far. And one thing I wanted to point out, his legs seem a little bit wide out there, especially at the bottom. I'm going to try taking some hot water, adjusting his legs and his ear. We'll see how that goes. And I must say, that worked like a charm. I took a microwave safe cup, filled it with water, got it to a boil, dipped his legs in there, then turned around, dipped his head in there, and everything pretty much just corrected itself. I didn't have to do much work. His legs are much more inside now, and his ears are completely straight. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's a display stand. Perfect black circle, typical McFarlane stand, DC logo at the bottom, 1 peg for the peg holes in their feet, very thin, very basic, and I am not much of a stand guy. This is just going to go into a huge bin of stands. And here's a look at his collector's card. We've got Batman from the Arkham Knight with the Batmobile behind him. And on the back side, there's some stats about the figure in case you want to read them. Here's his Batarang. Pretty basic. It does have a small Batman logo in the middle. Pretty much what you expect from Batarang from the Arkham games. This is a little bit of a soft material. It's a little bit bendy. Here it is, next to a DC Direct or DC Collectibles Batarang from one of the other Arkham games. Here he is holding and getting ready to throw his Batarang. And here's his explosive gel. The sculpt is there, but the fact that they made it pure black really takes this thing down a notch. It should have some metal colors and some different variations to it. Like I said, it has a decent sculpt, but it looks so bland being pure black. Here it is, next to a DC Direct or DC Collectibles version of the explosive gel, and I must say, DC Direct wins on this one. Here he is, crouching down, getting ready to spray the explosive gel. Now let's look at his remote electric charge. I believe this weapon was featured most prominently in Arkham City, and in Arkham Knight you didn't start off with this. You had to go to the GCPD evidence room and retrieve your old electric gun. So it suffers from the same problem. A nice sculpt, but casted in pure black, and that really takes away from the accessory. See the handle at the bottom, in fact the two handles. Like I said, it looks good, but give me some color variation, please. And here it is, next to a DC Direct version of the remote electric charge. Must say, DC Direct wins on this one because the color is much better, and frankly, I believe the size is more appropriate as well. This seems to be about the best way this figure can hold this thing, and it is not game accurate. And this is how he's supposed to hold it in the game. He has two handles here, got the trigger up there, and then the base back there. But that thing is way too fat to actually fit into his hand properly. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out the height of this guy. From bottom to the top of his head, sitting at about 7.4 inches tall, which is going to translate to a little bit under 19 centimeters. And then if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.75 inches. Now, let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, kind of rotate from side to side. Can look down that far, pretty nice, and up that far, also very nice. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They go out quite a bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. And if you wanted to tilt his head and look back, he could be grappling up, and it looks great. He's got the shoulder pads up top, but they're soft. They're not obstructing any articulation. They just go right up top here. Very nicely done. He does have a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest, giving him some forward and back motion as well. He's got a bicep cut below that, double jointed elbows below that, and they go absolutely all the way in. His wrist, it can rotate, and then it's hinged as well. His chest seems to be a solid piece. I can tell the armor is a little bit soft on top, but you can't really move anything inside of there. It does have a very nice ball joint at his waist. It can rotate around, go forward about that far, back about that far. Combined with his head, it looks pretty good. And he can tilt from side to side, just giving him a very nice range of motion in his torso here. Legs can go out this far. It's not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. They can swivel at the thigh a little bit, and then go forward about that far, and back about that much. He's got double jointed knees below that. And then his feet here, there is toe articulation. He's got a ball in here where his feet can go up and down. And guess what? Yes, he has ankle tilts on top of that. You don't have to try to rotate that ball in there and execute that way. Very nice. McFarlane improving on their figures. And if it wasn't for his cape, if you replaced it with a cloth cape, for example, he could definitely sit into a chair. Here's this Batman overlooking Gotham on a rooftop here, thinking to himself, how's he going to defeat the Arkham Knight militia? By evening the odds. And if you wanted Batman to jump off the rooftop and glide down, his arms can stretch out so far. If somebody were to take a cloth cape, put on him, a giant cloth cape, you could have some really cool gliding scenes down in the city. And then as Batman has landed, he calls the Batmobile to even the odds. And now that Batman's into the Batmobile, He's going to go around destroying some Arkham Knight militia tanks. And here's Batman, just like in Arkham Knight, taking out the Arkham Knight and his militia. Got guys on all the different levels, outside, inside, first, second, third floor, as well as the tower on top. Here's Batman taking out Harley Quinn and her thugs. Here's Batman taking on a couple of Scarecrow's fear toxin hallucinations. And of course, Batman always has a solution for these type of things. And here's Batman taking on the Arkham Origins Deathstroke. And they pretty much had the same costume in Arkham Knight, so it works for me. Here's Batman taking on Professor Pig and a bunch of his Dolatrons. Here are heroes from the Arkham Knight game in Oracle's Clock Tower. Here's Batman on top of a rooftop in Gotham City with all the other costumed heroes from Arkham Knight. Next, let's check them out compared with some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the McFarlane Arkham Asylum Batman. I really hope they make the Arkham City and Arkham Origins Batmans as well. Here he is, next to both the Detective Comics Batman and the White Knight Batman. And here he is, next to all the Batman figures McFarlane has made so far. Here he is, with the entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Got a total of 28 figures in one vehicle. I know some people have already started to find the Bronze Arkham Asylum Batman, the Bronze Arkham Knight Batman, the Bronze Deathstroke, the Walmart Dark Knight metal figures, and even the Merciless wave has started to hit. And just a little bit more of an aerial view of the entire Multiverse collection. And here he is, next to the DC Direct or DC Collectibles Arkham Knight figure. They're both very nice Batman figures. The DC Collectibles one's head is pretty small, but beyond that, they both look fantastic. This McFarlane one is a little beefier, a little more like a bruiser Batman. This DC Collectibles one seems a little leaner, but you can see a lot of similarities. The belt, the sort of chest area, the abs, the bat signal, the armor. Both look very nice. You drop a line in the comments below. Which one do you guys like better? And here he is, next to all three different versions of the DC Collectibles Arkham Knight Batman. The first one here, absolutely no battle damage whatsoever. The second one here, got some minor battle damage. You can see some cuffs and scuff marks on his armor. And this other one here, he's all muddied up. Here he is with the entire DC Collectibles Arkham Knight collection. He fits in pretty good scale-wise with them. I am still shitty that they canceled the Arkham Knight Militia Pack and Poison Ivy. Here he is, next to a suit from each of the Arkham games by DC Direct and DC Collectibles. Then here, next to an Arkham City Bruce Wayne figure. This Bruce Wayne is pretty big and tall, and would work good for a McFarlane Arkham Knight Bruce Wayne. And now, let's check him out compared with some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, all from different various video game properties. Then, here he is next to 4 more lines with his McFarlane brothers. And here he is with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures. And here with some NECA Batman figures. Then with some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods Batman figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics or Multiverse Batman figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex Batman figures. Then, with some Hasbro, Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And finally, here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this Arkham Knight Batman is great. His articulation is excellent. The only thing he could benefit from would be some kind of an ab crunch or ball joint in his torso, but I do understand they didn't want to mess up the aesthetic of the figure. His accessories are pretty nice, but if they were painted a little better, that would really put him up a notch. His sculpt is excellent. The texture, all the different pieces to him look great. He looks better than the DC Collectibles figure, if you ask me. Overall, if I were to rate this guy, I'd give him a strong 8 out of 10. I really hope McFarlane goes deep into the Arkham line. That would please me greatly. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Keep your eye out for the rest of my new McFarlane DC Multiverse reviews. They're all dropping real soon. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.